everybody to episode 2 of The Road to Success. I honestly cannot tell if the fan at all is making too much noise, but fuck it, whatever. We're just gonna go with it. So, today is Thursday the 27th, and it's fucking 91 degrees out in Jersey City today. I was just out earlier walking around, probably gonna go out later. Gonna enjoy the beautiful weather that we have so far, and I gotta say, I'm in a pretty good fucking mood today. I'm feeling blessed. I got a good apartment setup I'm going on right now. Waking up every day, feeling good, and we're gonna just jump right into it. So, let's see. The first thing we're gonna be looking at today is going to be, let's see what we got here. We're gonna tell you guys about how the situation's changed from last time I made a video a couple days ago. To be honest with you, nothing much has changed. We're still at the same spot we were before. Got a couple of new things in my room, kind of putting on the finishing touches in my apartment room right now, as well as the fact with the job hunting. I'm at the point where I went in for an in-person interview on Wednesday for a job that I felt pretty good about, and I should be getting that response by tomorrow afternoon, this time tomorrow. And yeah, and so I don't really have any other plans for today or for the weekend, and otherwise everything else financially, everything else in terms of housing and working, that hasn't changed in the meantime. But I mean, we still have the same focus in mind in terms of still making sure we're doing everything we can today in order to basically take us to that next step and move us forward. So now we're gonna take a quick dive into Twitter, see what's going on today. Alright, so what do we got here? So starting off on Twitter, if I go to the top of my timeline, let's see, Kawhi Leonard is meeting with the Lakers and Clippers. Lakers, what the fuck am I saying? Lakers and Clippers? Jesus Christ. Alright, so let's see what else we got here. Talk about Space Jam 2 footage. Let's see, Anthony Davis is getting 23 from LeBron. A lot of basketball stuff, Jake Gyllenhaal. And this is all boring shit, not gonna lie. Nothing else is really going on right now. Had night 1 of the Democratic debate last night, got night 2 tonight. And let's see what else we have here. So if we go to my timeline. Alright. Let's see, they're talking about the fucking Democratic debates. I'm not going to get political in this, but if I am going to get slightly political, the only issue, I saw this come up this week a couple of times, and it's basically been coming up recently, in terms of, you got YouTube, you got Reddit, you got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, a lot of social media companies definitely cracking down on what they would consider their hate speech policies, and cracking down in terms of what they're allowing as content on their sites. Now, personally, my stance is they should be viewing themselves as a platform. So they should be viewing themselves like Verizon, that allows you to pass a text message from my phone to my roommate's phone. Regardless of whatever I say in that message, Verizon's not held liable for that, and therefore they shouldn't be able to intercept any of my messages to make them not go through. Same deal in social media. Even if you have somebody who, I mean, granted, I vehemently disagree with a ton of people that I even follow on social media, doesn't mean I never want to see them have another account open again. That's fucking wrong, first of all, and second of all, you're literally trying to play favorites and silence and make a protected class in that case. If you have a bunch of people, and in this case with Reddit, the big news that's going on right now is the Donald subreddit. And so the Donald subreddit has actually been quarantined. So, in terms of the quarantine, they basically shut it down over threats of violence. Now, for me, this is kind of ridiculous. Now, there's people on Reddit, and Reddit's fucking huge. Anybody could be on Reddit. And supposedly they were, oh wow, fucking ads. I'm not surprised. Come on, CNN. So we got that the Donald is home to messages that cross the line towards inciting hatred and eroding our democracy. Okay, that's a little shady. Let's see. Banning a large political community that isn't in violation of our rules would be hugely problematic, not just for Reddit, but for our democracy generally. Political speech is the most protected form of speech in the United States, and we're sensitive to that. Yada, yada, yada. Alright, so the only thing is that I don't see is why they've actioned individual users in quarantine the subreddit. Can you show us the examples to what happened? Interesting. That makes no sense to me. So you have that, now you have even the other things that you had earlier a couple of weeks ago with the whole Vox Steven Crowder feud going back and forth, which, to be honest, he's a fucking comedian. Let him fucking make some jokes. If you really got that big of an issue, then don't call to be fucking throwing milkshakes in the middle of people's faces. Alright? You literally make fun of people every single day on your social media. Now don't get butthurt when somebody tries to make fun of you. So that's one of the things that have come up in terms of what I've seen repeatedly on social media. Kind of hope this changes. It's not something that keeps going, because it's something that totally is biased one way, and it's something that, I mean, a bunch of senators have talked about, a bunch of people on social media posts have talked about. I mean, you have people, like ridiculous people have been called, like they just had the Google memo, or the Google email that was leaked calling Dennis Prager and Ben Shapiro Nazis. Like, are you guys fucking stupid? Do you know who Dennis Prager and Ben Shapiro are? Like, Dennis Prager is kind of a devout Jewish guy, and Shapiro's a Orthodox. Like, calling them Nazis is pretty fucking stupid. Even if you wanted to try to make a point, you can call them something else. Don't call them a fucking Nazi. That shows you some pretty big stupidity there. But yeah, so let's see what we got here. We definitely, I came up today, saw a video on YouTube regarding the, what was that? That was regarding deepfakes. So they were talking about deepfakes in terms of them getting really real and kind of hard to spot. Totally understand that. It's kind of going to be scary, because you're going to get to the point where you could deepfake, a 13-year-old in middle school could deepfake one of her friends. And I don't even want to go any farther in terms of how badly that can go, but that can get pretty bad in terms of a fraudulent kind of bullying aspect. And now I wouldn't say it should be illegal, because it's definitely a creative aspect which people can bring out very cool ideas, but something we have to take an eye on, just because of the fact that we don't want to have to see anybody go through that kind of problems. So yeah, so there was a YouTube video today about the threat of deepfakes. Then we're talking about the restrictions on the Donald subreddit. We're talking about the email about Shapiro and Prager. Jordan Peterson, somebody else was mentioned in there as well. Pretty fucking stupid, but yeah, that's how, I mean, Silicon Valley feels. I mean, Silicon Valley is in legitimately Southern California, one of the most liberal spots in the entire United States. So, kind of totally understand that aspect. And then you do have, again, let's see. You have the people like all over social media that go, oh, this person's not allowed to say. Oh, you have the Democratic debates. So you had Beto O'Rourke, honestly getting shit on today because of his use of the Spanish language. Don't really understand it. Kind of hilarious. He was pandering. But whatever. So let's see what we got here in terms of what do we learn today? What do we see? So obviously you saw the deepfakes with Game of Thrones and Jennifer Lawrence in the FPE video. NF. So he just released a new song, When I Grow Up. Totally recommend it. Just watch the music video for that, which is really good. And then obviously you have everything else that I usually watch on a day-to-day basis. I'm not really going to post everything. One thing which is interesting, Theo Von on this past weekend did have on Jordan Belfort. So that was a cool one to watch. I watched Schoolboy Q on First We Feast on Hot Ones. And yeah, so obviously some Joe Rogan split in here and there. And that's how it's looking today so far in terms of social media. I don't see anything else crazy that's going on about today. Dalai Lama had some stupid words, whatever. And that looks like it. Now, next thing we're going to talk about real fast is a little bit of a recap in terms of the economy. I'm going to create a separate video that's going to show basically a market summary of how the day went today, and I'm going to try to do that daily. Just a daily market summary video that I could post out there that could bring as much advice, content, and suggestions and work into that can kind of make things easier to see and kind of let people learn across the way in terms of what I have learned over the years, and kind of use the skills that I have in trading to help themselves out, because obviously it's something that's going to be used to completely change my life. So yeah, so that's going to wrap up there. We'll dive into the last little segment, talking about people's expectations. And let's see, so in this last little segment we'll talk about people's expectations. So we're going to be looking at the first aspect. So we'll look at you as an individual and dealing with expectations of your peers or of your coworkers or your family and friends, and what kind of perspective may help or what kind of perspective may change things one way or another. One of the big things for me, which I've gotten this from a couple of different people, in terms of when you're projecting outwards on expectations, is to totally keep it small. So pretty much everything in my aspect is thought of when I look outwards as this is because of my action, whether it's something stupid like the dishwasher not being emptied, or whether it's roommate not listening to me about picking something up from the store. It's really not a big deal. I think in order to live in the best way without getting anxiety and getting pressure and getting frustrated is to always live with the expectation those around you will do nothing. And if you come off with that expectations, the people around you they'll make you feel better. They will definitely do more than nothing, especially when asked from them. And then the biggest thing is kind of leading by example. I think leading by example is undeniably one of the most important things that someone should look at and someone should try to do when living their life. So if you are asking your roommate to be cleaner, or if you're asking your coworker to respect your privacy or to respect your work that's being done, or if you're trying to talk to your family and you're say, hey, I have this that I'm trying to work through, and you kind of become that bigger person and set that proper example, It's something that is not overnight. Don't expect everybody to just change all their thoughts and opinions overnight. But when you come at it from that kind of angle, it changes everything completely. So you can come to somebody and you could say, hey, like for me, example, I got 2 roommates. Say I got one roommate who's being a little bit messy, who's leaving things around everywhere. He's not really picking up after himself, and stuff like that. Now, for me, my expectation is he's not going to do anything. But I still should take it upon myself to clean, keep myself tidy, and keep myself organized as much as I can. Because the more he sees that, and the more the person, the surroundings, and the person you're trying to target sees that, the more chance they will have to react and to see that action that you're making and try to replicate that as they see things working more fluidly and in a more smooth manner. And even, I mean, you're going to have to tell them. So you're going to have to be straightforward. You have to be upfront with them. So if you have an issue with something like that in terms of their cleanliness, it's like, hey, George, I need you to clean up every once in a while. I don't want to keep doing the dishes. Now, usually they'll be, oh, sorry, didn't mean to, I was running out of time, stuff like that. It's okay. No big deal. But your expectation is still low. Expectation is not, hey, I told them once and now they're going to do it every single time. Even if you do it every single time, who fucking cares, alright? You think everybody's going to be just like you? If you think everybody's going to be just like you, I'm sorry, you have a long fucking life to live and you got a lot to fucking learn. Even though I'm not very old myself, I understand that everybody's not going to act just like me. Some people are going to do better than I do, some people are going to do worse than I do, some people will make decisions that are completely different than mine. So it all comes down to creating that good example and that good role model, and then allowing people to take that and understand that and kind of follow your lead, and definitely keeping your expectations for other people low and keeping the expectations for yourself high. So now when I say keep your expectations high, this is similar with discipline, like I talked about in the last video. You don't want to kill yourself with things. So you don't want to say, hey, my expectation is I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna write down a list. I'm gonna get 100% of it done. I'm gonna do extra work, so I'm not doing as much work on Friday. If you're having issues in terms of getting things done, or you're missing your expectations, then you could fucking take a break a little bit. There's no reason to go out and set some crazy expectation for yourself. Just like with discipline, you got to be disciplined with your expectations. So, in my example, I would say have the discipline for those around you very slow, but have the discipline for not even the discipline, the expectations for yourself high. So say, alright, I expect myself to, let's say you're at work and you have 2 projects that you're supposed to close this week. Say I expect to close a project every other day. Now, it's not crazy. If your minimum is 2, you're looking for 3. It's not a crazy jump. You're not going to kill yourself in terms of your pressure. But you're going to say, hey, life is what you make it. Life is totally what you put into it. And it's not what other people put into it that affects your life that you should be taking on a very micro level. You should be putting that on yourself. I'm sorry. It's just the way I work. It's just the way I've seen things work out for some people in the past. Now, obviously, if you disagree or you think otherwise, feel free to put a comment, ask me a question in the comment section, or send me a message on Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram. I don't really care. But keep that in mind. So that's where we're going to wrap up this video. Definitely, in terms of your expectations and dealing with them, take it one step at a time. Change your perspective around. Look at the people around you. It sounds crazy. It sounds counterintuitive sometimes. Take those expectations down. and think, hey, you're supposed to do this, you didn't do it. Don't sweat it. All right, you can't. If you're gonna stress about what every single other person in your life does, you're not gonna live a very healthy life. You should really be focused on what you are doing each and every day, instead of what everybody else is doing around you. And then okay, so that's gonna wrap everything up. So feel free to again, like the video, subscribe. In terms of my podcast, share it, tell anybody else you know about it if you're interested, and I'll be back with another video shortly.